Hello, what's up? Alright, Libra Ascendant. Libra Ascendant. Really like this Ascendant. I'm biased naturally because I have some people I really love my life with this Ascendant. But in general, this Ascendant is a very pleasant energy, a very beautiful energy. Um, so Libra is an air sign, first of all. Um, where to begin? There's so much to talk about. Okay, let's begin with the whole ascendant idea. What is an ascendant? So your ascendant is one of three main signs in Western astrology. You have your sun, your moon, and your ascendant. Your rising sign, ascendant, same thing, is what is found on the eastern horizon. Ignore that. The eastern horizon at the time of your birth, and it affects certain parts of your life. Um, it's not the well, I should say first. It affects basically how you appear to others, especially strangers. Especially strangers. Your rising sign rules the body. So whatever your ascendant is, you have huge insight into your body and why certain parts are a certain way and yada yada yada. It also represents, like I was saying, with strangers, how you come across. Your ascendant isn't necessarily your moon sign, for example. It's not talking about your emotional depths, it's not going really deep into who you are. But it is a hugely important a hugely important part of your life because it rules such a huge part of our energies, the ascendant. The body is a huge part of our lives, and the ascendant is the sign to rule that. So, specifically for Libra. So, where to begin? Well, let's begin with the body, I guess. That's what we keep talking about. Ascendant Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus, the planet of love, beauty, compromise, harmony, pleasure, art, all of that. So, for rising Libra, this person, you, perhaps, if you have this energy, is extremely pleasant. They are, in my personal experience with this energy, with these people, with this energy, they're the first ones to introduce themselves. Not always, other signs can change that, but rising Libra is so social, is so geared towards people. All of the air signs are geared towards people. That's why I'm doing these videos right now. It's just fun. I don't know. It's air signs learn from other people. They teach. They learn. It's a big vortex of awesomeness. Um, so yeah, Rising Libra is very oriented towards people. Even if, Rising Libra isn't the most outgoing um, person out there. They're not looking to have attention necessarily by everyone. They don't necessarily want to be like the star of the room or the party or whatever, like a Leo or an Aries or maybe even a Sag sometimes might want. They're very much more into the sociable aspect, the intellectual aspect, the talking, communicating, joking. It's Venus and it's Libra, so flirting, charm in general. Uh, yeah, Rising Libra is a very, very charming, beautifully engaging energy, definitely. Very artistic as well, and again in a very intellectual fashion. Art inspired by balance, by moderation, by really anything that interests you. You know, Libra and Aries are partner signs, and Aries always gets the bad rap for being the really loud, the really self-centered one, the really yada yada yada. Maybe I should focus on a different aspect actually. Um, they get the rap for being the more outgoing, the more powerful presence, that kind of stuff. More in your face than definitely Libra, but rising Libra and Libra energy in general is more common, more similar than not to Aries. Although they can be very different and they complement each other. For example, Aries being ruled by Mars, more passion-driven, into action, accomplishment, stuff like that. Libra being ruled by Venus, so there's compromise, there's consideration of other views, thoughtfulness. Besides that kind of basic difference, they both really are so very similar. They both like organizations of people, or rather groups of people, not organizations, but they like to be involved in a group, whether leading or just harmonizing, rising Libra. Also very driven themselves, Libra is one of the 4 cardinal signs, and the cardinal signs start the seasons. It really says a lot about the character of these energies. Libra starts fall, so it's the third one. It's the third season. It's not, it doesn't have to be first like Aries, like the first one, or it's not as emotionally as attached as Cancer is, the second season. But it does its job, and it gets in there, in the fall, and it very much speaks to the Libran temperament. Very relaxed, very chill. Rising Libra, very everything's harmonizing, very beautiful. But if an injustice happens, if something that the rising Libra can throw their ideals behind, their air power, dear God, you've just experienced the ultimate shift in Libraism. Libras in general are the most beautiful, relaxed, harmonious energies. But when they get fired up about something, an injustice pretty much is that thing. Run. Because Libras are more scary than Aries at that point, trust me. And it's a very admirable trait, honestly. Justice, fairness, equality, that's a really great energy associated with Ascendant Libra. It's a very great tool, because you can be so harmonious and so focused on creating a beautiful social environment, and then you can totally, in another scenario, when it calls for it, you can totally fire up all of this passion and drive towards what you feel about, what you're fighting for. Okay, so we've seen some really great things about rising Libra. Let's look at the more challenging things. Every sign, every position, whether it's supposed to be really good astrologically or really challenging, every sign has its ups and its downs. It's challenges to get over so you can rise and understand and get the best out of the energy. I would say maybe the biggest thing with rising Libra is probably being too focused on harmony. Like I was saying, the harmonious vibes and everything, that's beautiful, but you have to be careful not to compromise yourself. Compromising only gets you so far. Even if you were Libra, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, everything. Well, okay, maybe not in that point, but nobody's like that. Everyone has a mix of all these different energies. And, rising Libra can very much negate the self-needs for those around them and the group. And that can be very unhealthy. It can be very beautifully, wonderfully selfless at times. Maybe like if they're giving away things or, being very generous or something. But to compromise too much is to lose the self, and that can never happen.